We have spent a lot of time talking about how to write the equation of the line. So today we're going to talk about slopes of parallel and perpendicular lines. You are going to need your calculator so we can graph some lines. So if you don't have that, get that right now. Parallel lines. Two lines are parallel if they have the same slope. Slope is the steepness. So if they have the same steepness, they look the same, then they're parallel. Parallel means never touch, never intersect. So the way we know it is you're going to make sure that it's in y equals mx plus b, and you're going to look at m, which is the slope. Okay, so remember we can graph this in Desmos and we can graph this on our calculator. We're going to graph it on our calculator. So you can always clear out your memory from the very beginning. Second plus 7, 1, 2. That way everything's reset. There's nothing in there that could make it where your calculator won't graph. So go ahead and do that. Second plus 7, 1, 2. If you need to write that in your journal, you can. Okay, so let's look at the example. Y equals 5x plus 1. Y equals 5x minus 3. So let's just look at them. I want to see them in the calculator. So go to y equals, and let's put in y1 the first one, 5x plus 1. So when you graph it in the calculator, you don't need to put y equals in it. When you do Desmos, you do. But on here, it's already written. It's already typed in there. All you got to do is put in the 5x plus 1. Then go to y2. Put in 5x minus 3. Everybody should be doing this. Hit graph. So you can see how it looks. See how it's like railroad tracks? They're not touching. So these are parallel. Both of them have a slope of 5. Same slope equals parallel lines. Look at the second set. What do you predict is going to happen here? Are they going to be parallel? Or are they going to be perpendicular? Look at their slopes. One of them equals -2, and then the other one equals +2. Do you think they're going to be parallel or perpendicular or neither? Let's find out. So go back to y equals. Clear out what you have. So hit clear and then go down on y2 and hit clear. And let's put in the first one. Make sure you use the negative symbol, which is right below the 3. -2x minus 3. And then the other one, 2x minus 3. They have the same exact y-intercept. So if you have the same exact y-intercept, that's where you're going to touch. Okay. Have these in? Do you have these in? Hit graph. Okay, it could be perpendicular, right? Okay, something with this screen is that it's not squared up. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit zoom square number 5. Z square. Sorry, y'all can't see that. So the zoom button is right 2 places over from y equals. Do number 5 for z squared. That's going to square it up where they're actually like what we would draw. The other way isn't squared up. Okay, so now that it's squared up and it has the same increments on the x-axis and the y-axis, that's what squaring it up does. Do they look parallel or perpendicular or neither? It's neither. They intersect at that y-intercept, which is what they have the same of. Okay, let's talk about perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines are blank if their slopes are blank. 2 lines are perpendicular. I have to write that small. If their slopes are opposite reciprocals. So I'll talk about what that means. Opposite means different sign. So one's positive, one's negative. Reciprocal, I told y'all that was my favorite word a while back. Reciprocal means that the fraction is flipped. Fraction flipped. So we have to find the opposite reciprocal, and then if you see that they're opposite reciprocals of each other, then they are perpendicular lines. So 2/3, the opposite reciprocal would be, this is positive, so this one would have to be negative, and then flip the fraction, 3/2. These are opposite reciprocals. You flip the fraction, you change the sign. Opposite means different sign. Reciprocal means the fraction is flipped. So then this one, -3. We're going to change the sign so that the other one will be positive and flip the fraction. But there's no fraction here. But could we make -3 into a fraction? What would be the denominator? 1. So we are going to flip the fraction and change the sign. So it becomes positive 1/3. These are opposite reciprocals. In order for them to intersect, they have to be opposite signs. Well, not necessarily. They could both be positive, both be negative. But in order for them to intersect at a right angle, because perpendicular means you have 2 lines like this, where this is a right angle. That's what perpendicular means. It makes a 90-degree angle. So we're going to look at it in the calculator. So this zoom square is going to make it where it looks perpendicular. If it's not like that, it might look a little off. So I like to make sure that it's in that z square so that it looks perpendicular if it really is. All right, so let's do this one. Y equals, let's clear out what's in there. And let's put in negative 4x plus 2. And then the other one, do alpha y equals, to get your fraction, 1 over 4. Then get out from under the fraction, hit x plus 6. Once you get those two in, hit graph so you can see them. Does that look perpendicular? If you were to like turn it like that, with this being straight and this being straight up and down, yeah, it makes a right angle. So this is perpendicular. And upside down T is the symbol to that. So you look at the fractions, one's positive, one's negative, and then it's reciprocal, it's flipped. Okay, what about this one? This one's 1/3 and this is 3. Are they perpendicular? What's missing? The sign change. It has to have a sign change. One of them has to be positive, the other one has to be negative in order for it to be perpendicular. Go ahead and put in 1/3 x minus 1 into y1, and then 3x plus 5 into y2. Hit graph. See how that's not perpendicular? So the sign change didn't happen. So I'm going to put neither. Okay, in the last example it says find the parallel and perpendicular. I'm going to say slope. I'm going to change that up a little bit. Find the parallel and perpendicular slope for this. Oh, the sign for parallel is actually two lines that are, well, mine don't look super parallel, but you get the idea. That's the sign for parallel. This is the sign for perpendicular. So the parallel slope, if this is my original slope, the parallel slope would be the same, right? So negative 2 over 5. It's the same because that's your m. The perpendicular slope flip it and change the sign. So it's already negative, so we're going to change it to positive and then flip it. 5 over 2. This is the parallel slope. This is the perpendicular slope. All right, go ahead and glue it in, and I'm going to pass out your assignment. All right, let's look at your assignment so we can read our instructions together and do one of them. Look at your assignment. It says determine which lines are parallel and perpendicular to the given line. You will use all the letters in both columns. Check your answers on your calculator before you turn in the assignment. So parallel means same slope, right? So you're going to find the same slope for this over on this. This is like your answer column. This is your given column. Perpendicular means opposite, reciprocal. Do you want to write opposite and flip the fraction, or different sign, flip the fraction? You can do that. So the parallel, go ahead and you can either highlight or write what the slope is and then write what the perpendicular one is. I'm going to circle it and write m equals 2 right here. If you want to highlight it, you can. It's up to you. So you're going to look for the parallel line to this. So all we're looking for is on the alphabet column, you're looking for the equation that has the same slope of 2. So go down, looking for the one that has the same slope of 2. There it is. So this, I'm going to put a little dot by it because each one will have 2 dots whenever you're done. That way you can keep track of what you've used so far. So this is my parallel one. So I'm going to put that here. Okay. So I've used K once. I'm going to end up using K twice because it's also perpendicular to one of these others. Okay, so if this is my parallel slope, what is my perpendicular slope? Opposite reciprocal of 2. What would that be? Negative. You got to flip it. So it wouldn't be 2. What would it be? Negative 1 over 2. You got to flip it. Because even though this doesn't have anything, there's still an invisible 1 under it. So when you flip it, it becomes negative 1 over 2. So now go down your alphabet column, looking for negative 1 over 2. Where is it at? It's all the way down with T. I'm going to put a little dot by it so I can keep track of what I've used. So T is going to go here. So go through and do that same process. Write what your slope is. Find it on your ABC column. And then write your perpendicular slope. And find it and write your letter. Put dots as you use them because each one will have 2 dots by the end. Because you're using all the letters on parallel and all the letters on perpendicular. Go ahead and finish this up.